Hello and welcome to the podcast, The Unexplained and the Unexplainable. It's been a long time. I don't know. I almost forgot the intro, but rest assured that you'll be seeing this video either the day we record it, which is a Tuesday, I think Monday, no Thursday, and not on a normal Saturday or Sunday, because B will not be here for a couple of days, so you won't get that podcasting thing for a day or so.
Well, we could upload it on Saturday. We don't know. We don't know is the short answer, I guess, right?
Yeah, we don't know when you're going to be seeing this. We're still trying to think about that, but I'm not going to bore you with the intro and just get into
That's not
the
why
story.
you're here.
Yeah, also this is about Amelia Earhart. It's good to know the case. But Amelia Earhart and Fred Noonan disappeared July 2nd, 1937. Amelia Earhart was born on July 24th, 1897. June 17th, 1928, Amelia Earhart became the first woman to cross the Atlantic from May 20th to May 21st. Sorry, I tripped up on that. Just not languaging today.
You know, everyone knows who Amelia Earhart is, but I did till I began my studies on this years ago. I had no idea who Fred Noonan was. You know, no one ever talks about the disappearance of Fred Noonan.
Yeah, I mean, Fred Noonan wasn't that. I mean, Fred Noonan was with Amelia Earhart in like almost all of Johnny's and footage show.
Yeah, and everyone talks about what a mysterious disappearance it is, you know, with Amelia Earhart, but no one ever says, what about the mysterious disappearance of Fred Noonan?
Well, like, oh, we're so sad for you, Earharts. Now, oh, we're so sad for you, Noonans.
Yeah, it seems like history has kind of forgotten about the Noonans, or at least I had, and so maybe I'm alone in that. But anyway,
no, I'm pretty sure everyone forgot. I didn't know Fred Noonan until I watched that one BuzzFeed video that most of this is from. I mean, Wikipedia articles and the BuzzFeed Wikipedia fandom.
So, while she was flying from Newfoundland to Ireland in 15 hours, she was the second person to ever complete that flight. I'll let you go ahead there, Dee, and finish with the story of Amelia Earhart.
Amelia's plane suffered a leak, ice on the wings, and a cracked manifold, which resulted in her plane catching on fire. On August 24th, 1937, Amelia flew from LA to Newark, which is the longest distance without refueling at the time. Amelia was the first female pilot to complete a cross-continental flight. She also wanted to fly across the globe. It would have took her 40 days, starting and ending in California, and would have to stop many times to refuel. She flew in a plane that had over 1,000 pounds of fuel, which 40 days into the flight, Amelia Earhart and Frederick Noonan prepared to leave I'm gonna butcher this word. La Nugunin?
That would be New Guinea.
New Guinea.
New Guinea.
I'm sorry for anyone who's from there.
We have a lot of subscribers from the New Guinea area, and we would.
Most of our subscribers at the time of recording this is just our family.
Well, they might live in New Guinea.
I literally saw Mimi yesterday.
But you never know where.
I live with my mother.
You never know where some of our family members are going to end up.
Some of our other families don't care about. The only friends I told about said they hate true crime.
So the plane
was carrying most of the fuel it had on this expedition. I'm pretty sure 20,000 miles into the trip, 7,000 miles to California. On the radio, the radio operator set up a thing he can just send transmission to about every hour. And he said that the headwinds were stronger than anyone expected. And the operator sent 3 transmissions about this, but Amelia Earhart did not seem to get the transmissions, and headwind speeds could affect plane speed, which would affect gas consumption.
That makes sense, because if the wind is, I guess, blowing towards you, you're having to spend more energy to fight that wind, which would in turn lead to, gas mileage. Kind of think of it like that, I guess, for the car, right? If you were pulling something, your gas mileage would be worse. Same way with a plane, or so I'm told. That's what I've studied in my aeronautical classes that I've been taking. I'm sorry, go on. I interrupted you.
Trying to get back to what I was.
Back to Amelia Earhart here.
The transmissions were finally received, and the speed of Amelia's plane was 140 knots. The altitude, with 7,000 feet, and the status was okay. Amelia's next transmission was that she climbed to 10,000 feet, which would consume more fuel. But a veteran pilot said it could have been to avoid clouds and mountains. This transmission also seemed to be delayed when they were by Howland Island. The plane seemed to be at 97 gallons of fuel. The Coast Guard's Itasca was to provide communications to Amelia's plane. The Itasca did not receive transmissions from Amelia. They thought the plane... No, Itasca did receive transmissions from Amelia. Sorry about that. They thought the plane was so close, in fact, that they went outside and started to look for her. In one of Amelia's last transmissions, Amelia said, "We must be on top of you, but we cannot see you." She also said gas is running low. Amelia Earhart's last transmission was, "We on the line 157, 337. We will repeat message on the 6,210 kilocycles. Wait. The transmission may have also included, we are running north and south." And transmission was described as frantic. After that, Amelia was never officially heard from again. When Amelia's plane never arrived, the Itasca searched the surrounding waters, surrounding areas, and on July 7th, the U.S. battleship Colorado began to search the southeast, and a U.S. aircraft carrier came and started to search the area until July 18th. To this day, Amelia Earhart has never been found. At least I'm going to have to do some check on that, see if she actually was never found, because I did see video of Amelia Earhart.
I don't think she was ever found, and Fred Noonan, who you have already forgotten about, was never found either. So what do you think happened to Amelia Earhart? What do you think?
I think she was eaten by crabs on an island.
Well, okay, but do you think that her plane, did she run out of fuel and the plane crashed? Did they, encounter some sort of a weather event? Or, why do you think that they didn't make it? She was an experienced aviator by that point and knew what she was doing. She had an experienced co-pilot with her. Why do you think that...
You didn't even say his name. Remember, always say Fred Noonan. Don't forget about poor old Fred.
And Fred,
Fred,
both of them. Both of them very experienced. Why do you think that? What do you think happened? Why didn't they make it?
I think they didn't make it because they didn't know about how high they were climbing. And just so you know, that thing about the pilot, another pilot saying, that climb could have been to avoid some like clouds or mountains, but no. No. If you say that it's aliens, if any of you in the comments say it's aliens, I don't want to be your friend.
What about the Bermuda Triangle, if it's not aliens?
We know that she flew over the Bermuda Triangle?
Maybe. I don't know. Was she in that area?
No, she disappeared around, some islands. Oh. I'm pretty sure somewhere by Hawaii, maybe.
Well, I don't
know. It was an island that was controlled by Japan. That's all I know. And some people say that she crashed on an island, crashed on a different island, was covered by the U.S. military, and they searched a Japanese island that was controlled by the Japanese during the time. Because they could search so freely under the grounds that it was, searching for Amelia Earhart.
So this wasn't her first attempt to try to fly around the world. Correct? I mean, when she disappeared, she'd already made one attempt, and then I guess that one wasn't successful.
Yeah, why are you trying to do it again if you already did it once? So?
Well, I think she was trying to do it successfully, and the first time that she tried it didn't happen. So
I know, that's what I'm saying.
I guess if it was easy to do, then everybody would have been doing this. I don't know exactly why you would want to fly from California to California, but I guess to set some sort of a record, maybe.
You just go and turn around.
Yeah.
I did it.
Right.
I went from California to California.
Yeah, you wouldn't even have to leave the ground to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, you're already there where you left
from. You could take one step and then take one step backward, and you've traveled from California to California.
Right. So so the goal here is
she failed to step once forward and step backwards again since she tried going to Japan, I guess, on a plane. So.
Yeah, this was back in a time when it seemed like a lot of people were trying to break records, trying to do things like this. I mean, she'd already tried the transatlantic flight, a solo transatlantic flight where she went over the ocean. And I guess maybe she just wanted to kind of push it a little bit more. What do you think about that? People that try to, do these things that have never been accomplished before, try to set records or, pull off some sort of an amazing feat like this. What do you think about that?
I think that, it's a pretty good idea because you're going to be in history books, but, you know the risk, don't you?
Well, I mean, I guess she knew the risk because she had tried this once already and it didn't work.
And she did something way small and a plane caught on fire, so.
So I thought it was interesting the last transmission that she had there that, it was described as kind of frantic.
Yeah, if you were crashing onto an island, would you be frantic?
Well, but did she say anything about, our plane is crashing? It didn't seem like she said anything like that in that last transmission.
No, it could just be that she's scared that her gas is running low and she may not make it.
That's true. So, she was never found, I guess, right? And they officially declared her dead, 2 years after she disappeared? Is that right?
Probably.
But, you still hear all these stories about, I even remember when I was a kid, they found some wreckage somewhere in probably New Guinea, where a lot of our audience is, hello New Guinea, that, they found some wreckage that they thought maybe was Amelia Earhart, maybe part of her plane. It's all these years later, you're talking about, 80 years later here, and people are still out there thinking that they might find a clue or something. Why do you think people care so much?
Because it's a mystery. People naturally want to know what happened. Like, say in the JFK assassination, people want to know if it's a conspiracy or not. People want to know because we, as humans, love mysteries, and we want to find them out. We want to be the person to discover stuff. So basically, just on greed, I want to do that. Sorry for all the sounds. My chair is very squeaky.
Well, so I guess the easiest explanation would just be that they crashed. They ran out of fuel, and they crashed the plane.
On one island, they someone found bones, but they said it wasn't Amelia Earhart. And they tossed the bones out. They tossed the bones out. They discarded them. They set them on fire, tossed them in the ocean. I don't know what they did with the bones, but all I know is they don't have the bones.
Right.
But some people have discovered using other stuff of the bones, like how the bones looked with pictures and stuff. Mm-hmm. They discovered that it actually wasn't Amelia Earhart's bones, or could have been Amelia Earhart's bones. Someone from her descent or photo bones. Huh. Someone like them.
Well, there's a couple of other theories too. I guess she was trying to land at the time, like on that on Howland Island, which is sort of a small island. But
yeah, and she got eaten by crabs, definitely.
Well,
everyone Amelia Earhart was eaten by crabs. It was crabs Amelia shot people.
Well, that's dark, and I don't think crabs deserve that kind of accusation. People already don't like crabs, and now you're telling people that they ate.
No, Mr. Krabs. People love Mr. Krabs.
Do they? I mean, Mr.
Those
Krabs
some theories that Mr. Krabs in the Krabby Patties, he solves crabs, people. He solves crabs.
Well, that would make Mr. Krabs, I guess, a cannibal. Interesting. So one of the other theories is that they didn't crash, but they couldn't make it to the Howland Island for some reason, maybe because of some sort of problem with the plane or not enough fuel, and so they landed on another island. And they just weren't able to find them because of this area here out in the ocean. There's a lot of islands. What do you think? Have you seen anything that makes you think that maybe she did survive and just was stranded on a deserted island, kind of like Tom Hanks in that movie with the volleyball?
Yeah, the volleyball movie.
Yeah.
I think that she may have been dead.
And then the most interesting theory, I think, to me anyway, and my readings, my extensive research
that
of the
you
life
did
and
right
times,
before this podcast, when you were going over a Wikipedia page and I was going over my Google Doc that I've been working on for 2 hours,
is that she was possibly captured by the Japanese. The Japanese, they weren't exactly big friends of ours at that time. This is kind of around the time period when there was some trouble between the countries.
It was like Boom Boom Hawaii Island.
So do you think maybe she could have been captured by the Japanese? Maybe they thought
think she was a spy. It's either that she was a spy or she was eaten by crabs. But how I mean by she was a spy, so she crashed on a different island. The U.S. retrieved her, basically turned her into someone else, told her to go into hiding, and then they went on to the Japanese control islands, and they could go on their undergrounds of searching for Amelia Earhart.
There's an interesting documentary on the History Channel called Amelia Earhart: The Lost Evidence, I think is the name of it, and it mentions this theory that the Japanese knew where she crashed, found where she crashed, and got rid of the evidence there. But I don't really know why they would do that. I mean, what's in it for them, right? What do they care if this person who's basically an explorer or
that's what I was saying. Some scientists do the bones that could have been whole.
Yeah. So, but why would the Japanese care? What would be in it for them to shoot down her plane or to get rid of it? That just doesn't.
It would make America be vulnerable and go into a frenzy.
So you think they did it just so an American wouldn't accomplish something?
I don't think they did it. I'm just saying this could have been what happened if your theory is true, which I don't think it is.
So there are a lot of sort of more mysterious kind of conspiracies out there about Amelia Earhart, right? You mentioned that.
I think she had been the lady with the stick to get those.
You mentioned that she might have been a spy.
Yeah.
What do you mean a spy? Like
spy for the Americans.
What was she spying on?
What she did basically was she would aid the Americans in getting information on the Japanese, but basically letting the Americans search Japanese-controlled islands, and they just did that on the grounds of searching for Amelia Earhart, and they just had a giant cover-up and said Amelia Earhart, yeah, she definitely died, but they really just gave Amelia Earhart some crappy plastic surgery and a new view on life.
So, like, they're hiding her, like a witness protection type thing.
Yeah. Again,
though, why would they hide her? Just because they didn't want her to be discovered?
They hide her because they don't want the Japanese to know, oh, this is what happened. Amelia Earhart survived, and this was a plan just to search our island. Let's go to war with the Americans again. Boom, nuclear annihilation.
Well, that's interesting. So they changed her identity. I guess they would have given her a new name,
yeah,
right?
Maybe like, I don't know, maybe,
Well, it says here that they gave her, that some people think that they renamed her Irene Bolam.
No, Irene Bolam said that she's not her and she hates people assuming that she is Amelia Earhart.
Yeah, so, I mean, why would they think that she was Amelia Earhart? Well, I mean, if you were Amelia Earhart and they changed your identity and they gave you, plastic surgery and gave you a new name, and then someone, figured it out and came up to you and said, hey, aren't you Amelia Earhart? I mean, wouldn't the first thing you would do would be deny that you were, in fact, Amelia Earhart?
Well, she got an entire book taken down, and she doesn't even look like her, doesn't even act like her, and, she really just can't be her because she would be a bit older than, I think, younger or older, don't know which one it is, but I know she'd be a different age than what Amelia Earhart would be now. And yeah, her birth certificate there's no tampering with.
Well, all right, so I guess that rules that out.
Yep.
You know anyone else that might be Amelia Earhart?
I mean, you could be.
I don't think so. I'm not really quite old enough, but it's interesting, whenever like a celebrity like this, something happens to them, people always sort of have that theory that maybe they're just really hiding somewhere. Like Elvis, for example. Elvis, people think...
Well, Elvis is dead.
Faked his death and so...
Nah, he's just dead.
But so, it sounds like people kind of made up those same sort of stories about Amelia Earhart, too. Like, oh, maybe she didn't really crash in the ocean, even though everything sort of seems like she did. What do you think it is about people that makes them where they can't really just accept that what is most likely to have happened, and so they have to kind of make up a fantastic sort of story? What do you think it is about people that makes them do that?
They want to naturally say something cool happened or something bad happened, because people naturally are skeptics and they want to prove people wrong.
So it's like, I'm the smartest guy in the room. I know what really happened to Amelia Earhart, and let me tell you about my crazy theories. That's why they're doing it, you think?
Yeah. 1 second.
Well,
by the way, credit to BuzzFeed Unsolved and Wikipedia, Ryan Begall, and Shane Madej for most and some of the information we have here on this podcast.
There's some interesting memorials, things like that around the world that people have put up, even in this country, but outside of this country, even on Howland Island. It looks like a memorial to Amelia Earhart. Maybe we'll put some of those pictures up on the YouTube channel for this.
Yep, maybe play some spooky music in the background.
Now, Amelia Earhart is from Kansas. You've never been to Kansas, but you're pretty close to it anyway, I guess. Is there a museum or anything in Kansas for Amelia Earhart? I'm sure there's got to be a Amelia Earhart museum somewhere.
There probably is, but I don't know.
You didn't get that far into the research?
My research was a 20-minute video, a Wikipedia look through, and a fandom look through.
Well, that's just
It's still more research than you did.
Not true.
All you did was go on Wikipedia before the podcast. Now you're listing things you found in here. You're literally scrolling through it right now. And you said, yeah, there's a memorial in Howland Island because you saw a picture of Earhart Light in Howland Island.
Well, I know that Amelia Earhart was the first woman to cross the Atlantic on a solo flight. I guess she did that one without Fred Noonan.
You probably taught that in elementary, middle.
When were you first taught that? That's an interesting question. When did
no one teaches us about Amelia Earhart anymore because she's a dead person that died flying.
Well, how did you learn about Amelia Earhart then? How does the younger generation even know about Amelia Earhart?
Because the younger generation likes BuzzFeed.
Is that what it is? Is it as simple as that? So
yeah, they like YouTube. They go they look at some true crime mysteries. Boom, there's older people talking about Amelia Earhart, and they could have been taught that in school. Some people still teach that in school, I'm pretty sure. Some people teach Roanoke Island in school, but yeah.
Well, I don't know what any of those words mean, so I'll have to look those up. But
Roanoke Island was an entire colony that disappeared.
Ah, okay. That sounds like a problem for them. So it wasn't just a couple of people in a plane. It was an entire city of people that disappeared.
Yeah, it was a colony of British people that were trying to colonize.
Interesting. So now, what does this tell us? What do you think the story of Amelia Earhart tells us? What can we learn from it? What how can this
don't do overly stupid stuff like fly a plane over somewhere or almost crash?
Was it stupid though? Let's say that she had made it. Someone made it after her. This isn't something that has never been done. But if
someone's already died, why keep trying it? Or if you've already failed, keep trying it. Yeah, keep trying it, but keep eyes on your gauge for your gas and stuff, and make sure to credit your best friend Fred.
Well, I'm sure they learned some things here from her attempts, and they were able to carry those things on.
What they learned is watch out your gas. Watch out for gas.
If no one ever tried these things, no one ever tried to sort of push the boundaries of what they thought they could do, would you ever make any kind of scientific advancement or any sort of advancement really as a society? I mean, you have to kind of push yourself to get, to these new places, right? Don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah? What's something that you've done where you've sort of pushed yourself to do something that, you didn't think maybe you just personally could do? Not something that no one thought anyone could do, but something that you just thought you couldn't do where you had to push yourself to do it.
Talk to you for more than 5 minutes.
So you're sort of like the Amelia Earhart and Fred Noonan of talking to me then. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'd say it has to be, I don't know, maybe a mob. I mean, we all know the one thing is, don't be an Uncle Blunt. Don't talk to any Uncle Blunts.
Well, yeah, we all. I don't think we can use his government name. We can't use his real name. So.
Yeah, okay, I'll say his government brain on here.
No, I think who you're referring to is your uncle, Colonel Sanders.
Yeah, Colonel Sanders.
All right. Well, we've been at this for about 26 minutes now. I think we've all learned a lot about Amelia Earhart.
But I think there's one more question still boiling.
She had the speed record, too, at one point. After she crossed the Atlantic Ocean, and then in 1931, she set a speed record as well. She really did, accomplish a lot of things. One of, someone I think is very interesting and didn't disappear or anything, so you may not find them as interesting as I do, is Chuck Yeager, who is a test pilot. I think he was, one of the first people to go like the speed of sound. And, she was sort of like Chuck Yeager before there was a Chuck Yeager.
Okay, I have one question for you.
Okay.
Do you believe in aliens? Do you believe aliens could have anything to do with this?
I don't think, I don't really see any signs of alien involvement here in Amelia Earhart. It's just that this is, plane crashes happen all the time. They happen even now, and sometimes they don't know why. They don't know where they crash. And, it's really hard to know where these things are way up in the sky like that.
Another thing, do you, this is just off topic, but since I said what you do know what it is, do you believe in ghosts, spooks, specters, or demons?
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Why not? Yeah. I don't think any of those things had anything to do with
I have gone on record saying that I'm a shaniac. I do not believe in ghosts. I believe in aliens, but I believe that they're tiny, small things. I'm a shaniac, people.
Yeah, I don't know if that has anything to do with Amelia Earhart. We'll probably just have to cut all that out of the podcast.
Definitely a goer.
All right. So let's sign off here. It's been
27 minutes.
Episode 3 of The Unexplained and the Unexplainable. Although I think in this one there probably is a pretty decent explanation here, I mean, even though they never found her or the plane, probably just crashed, right?
I think a crab had a good time seasoning Amelia.
Well, that's disturbing.
I know.
All right, so join us next time?
Join us next time for some stuff. Next episode, I'm thinking about these. We could either be doing the Watcher or an alien thing. Tell us what you want. I'm not probably going to care about your opinion, but either the Watcher or...
Yeah, give us some comments. Is there something that you would like us to dive deep into?
Yep, tell us some stuff that you would like us to dive deep into stuff. And, yeah. We're going to sign off now. This is D, he's B, and...
Don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button.
See you in a couple of days and a week later. Have no idea. Watch Loki. Put in every single comment video about DB Cooper. Why you talking about Loki, and bye.